the special for the 19th of November 2024. I just want to acknowledge that we have an apology from Councillor June and a leave of absence from Councillor Yeomans. And can I please ask all the councillors to stand for the pledge? We recognise this city's considerable natural and cultural heritage, including thousands of years of traditional ownership by Ghana, and the more recent contribution from people either born here or who have migrated here. As we meet together, we build on this heritage by respecting and listening to each other, thinking clearly, being receptive to new ideas, speaking honestly, and deciding wisely for the current and future well-being of those we serve. Thanks, everyone. And for those of you who are following online, we're going straight to the first and only report for tonight's special meeting. And just to remind everyone, this is part of our legislative compliance, and it does complete a significant piece of work that we've been doing. Councillor Fisher.
I'll move the motion as written.
As written?
Yep.
Do you wish to speak to the motion? Thank you. Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to second the motion.
And would you like to speak to them just briefly?
I just want to acknowledge the considerable work that's gone into putting this together, which of course included an engagement with community, and want to thank the staff for all that they've done to put this together. I think it demonstrates that the community understand and recognise the difficulties and the financial circumstances that we've been facing in the last 7 years. So despite some questions, I suppose, that were obviously in the engagement piece from the community that participated, overall I think it demonstrates that it's supported.
Thank you. Councillor Pritchard, question or debate?
Just quick debate, thanks.
Go ahead.
I just really wanted to acknowledge how excited I am by these documents. I think Councillor Platten's laughing over there. In preparation for today's meeting, I think it's a huge amount of work that this chamber and the administration have put in over the last 2 months to get to this point. And I think that it demonstrates the effort that we're going to establish the council going forward over the next 10 years. And I think it's really well presented. It spells out everything that we have been concerned about with regards to future sustainability, addresses the ESCOSA, mentions things like the CWMS. And so I think in terms of both of the plans that are presented tonight, I think it's excellent, and it's really worth celebrating what we've achieved so far.
Thank you. Any further questions or debate? Councillor Wilkes.
Thank you. I second what Councillor Pritchard said. My commentary, if I could please debate.
Go ahead.
It's just a little bit of commentary around the actual engagement itself. It was disappointing to see the turnout of people who actually provided commentary on it. And there was a point in there where someone's asked for a simpler version of the document. And I also found that the questions that were asked, they just seemed quite low level. You know, do you understand the plan? And I thought in future or moving forward, we could, as a chamber, maybe look at how we actually are asking that question, because we're asking those questions about really detailed plans, because I had the same feedback with the budget review. Someone came to me and said, asking, do I understand how to read the budget? And more, that's one thing that really I think we should be asking questions about the contents of the actual document. So that's all I wanted to say, because I've heard that a couple of times in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thimianotis.
Yeah, just a little bit of debate as well. Thank you. I'm just following on from Councillor Wilkes, because I agree with some of those comments. And I was a bit disappointed in the turnout of only like 7 people participating. The surprise? Probably not. The long-term financial plan and the strategic asset management plan, I don't think members in our community would genuinely care. I think if we were talking about rates, they would care. If they were talking about individual projects, they would care. So it's the outcomes from these initiatives that residents will start talking about. So to have to go out and engage with them, and yes, the questions were really dummy basic. It didn't really draw out anything for me that made me feel more informed from our community. Just sort of tells me that there's probably a bit of a calm before the storm when residents understand that, as I said, as I mentioned, the outcomes from what we've put forward for community. I do just want to flag, and I've mentioned this to a couple of people, just around balance, and if we're losing balance on addressing debt and delivering for our community. And I think outcomes out of this and the decisions that we make need to be balanced. And I think addressing debt isn't everything. And there is good and bad debt, and we can utilise debt. And I do take the point that, you know, one of our CEO's KPIs is to move away from rates. So we need to really be thinking about, when we start asset rationalisation and when we start these things, where is that funding going to? And is it the quick fix in PLAS award, or is it into something bigger and better that's going to generate longer term funds, so then we can all reap those rewards in our awards? So happy to progress this because it's part of the stage, but yeah, I think the residents don't genuinely care at this stage. They think it's more internal, and those outcomes are when we're going to start having some real conversations.
Thank you. No further questions or debate. Councillor Fisher, do you wish to close? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Thank you very much, everyone. I will now call the meeting to a close and and I'll let you turn off your.